At some point in your life, you've probably told yourself this: don't cry. Maybe it was in front of people. Maybe it was during a difficult moment. Maybe it was when you felt something so deeply that it started to show. And if you're someone who cries easily, you've likely heard it from others too. You're too sensitive. Why do you cry so much? It's not that serious. But here's the truth that most people don't stop to think about. Crying is not just a reaction, it's a response. A response to emotion, to experiences that go deeper than words. And for some people, that response comes more naturally, not because they're weak, but because they feel deeply. In a world that often rewards emotional control and composure, people who cry easily can feel out of place. They may try to hide it, suppress it, or even feel ashamed of it without realizing that this tendency is rooted in something much deeper than just being emotional. So the question is, why do some people cry so easily? What is their mind actually doing in those moments? And is it really a weakness or something else entirely? For people who cry easily, emotions don't build slowly. They rise quickly, sometimes unexpectedly. A small moment, a certain tone, a memory, a kind gesture, a difficult conversation can trigger a wave of feeling that feels almost immediate. This happens because their emotional processing is fast and direct. Instead of filtering or delaying what they feel, their mind allows it to surface almost instantly. It's not a lack of control, it's a different kind of processing, where emotion is experienced in real time, without delay. And while others may take time to recognize what they feel, people who cry easily often feel it right away. Crying easily is often connected to emotional sensitivity, not in the way people usually assume, but in the sense of being more responsive to emotional stimuli. These individuals notice more. They feel the emotional tone of a situation. They respond not just to what is said, but to how it is said. And because of this, their emotional reactions can be stronger. But what most people don't realize is that this sensitivity is not limited to sadness. It applies to everything. They can cry when they're overwhelmed, when they're hurt, when they're frustrated, even when they're deeply moved by something beautiful, because their emotional range is wide, and their response to it is honest. Sometimes, crying easily isn't just about the moment itself. It's about everything that has been building underneath: stress, unspoken emotions, and unprocessed experiences. These things don't always show immediately. They accumulate quietly, and eventually, something small becomes the release point. From the outside, it might look like an overreaction, but internally, it's not about that one moment. It's about everything leading up to it. Some people are able to suppress their emotions for long periods. But for people who cry easily, that suppression is harder. Their emotions don't stay contained for long. And while this can feel overwhelming at times, it also means they are less likely to carry unexpressed emotions for too long. Their system releases rather than stores, even if that release is misunderstood. One of the hardest parts of crying easily is not the emotion itself. It's how others react to it. People may interpret it as weakness, as lack of control, as something that needs to be fixed. And over time, this creates a fear, the fear of being seen as too much. So individuals who cry easily often try to hide it. They avoid situations where they might get emotional. They hold back when they feel something rising. They apologize for their reactions, even when those reactions are natural. People who cry easily are often highly empathetic. They don't just feel their own emotions. They feel others' emotions too. When someone is hurting, they feel it. When someone is struggling, they sense it. When something emotional happens, even indirectly, it affects them. This deep empathy creates strong emotional responses, because their mind is not just processing one perspective. It's processing multiple layers of feeling at once. And sometimes, that intensity becomes overwhelming. There is a common belief that crying means weakness, that emotional expression is a lack of control, but psychologically, that's not accurate. Crying is a natural regulation process. It helps release stress. In fact, people who allow themselves to cry may process emotions more effectively than those who suppress them. The difference is not in strength, it's in expression. Some people internalize, others externalize. Neither is inherently better, but one is more visible, and because it's visible, it's often judged more. People who cry easily often experience an internal struggle. Part of them wants to express what they feel, but another part of them wants to control it. They may feel frustrated with themselves, embarrassed by their reactions, or wish they could respond differently. But the truth is, their reaction is not something they consciously choose. It's how their emotional system works. Despite how it may seem, there is strength in crying, because it requires vulnerability. It requires the ability to feel without shutting down. In a world where many people avoid emotions or hide them, allowing yourself to feel is not weakness, it's courage. It means you're connected to your emotions, not disconnected from them. The goal is not to stop crying, it's to understand it, to recognize what triggers it, to see what emotions are being expressed, to create space where those emotions feel safe. Instead of suppressing tears, it becomes about managing the environment, because once you understand your emotional patterns, they feel less overwhelming. The philosopher Rumi once said, "The wound is where the light enters you," and for someone who feels deeply, that light does not enter in small amounts. It comes in fully, illuminating parts of life that others might pass by without noticing. But this kind of sensitivity needs something important. It needs the right environment. Because when someone who feels deeply is constantly told to suppress it, to ignore it, or to change it, they begin to disconnect from themselves. And that disconnection creates its own kind of struggle, one where they no longer trust their own emotions. But when that same person is in a space where their emotions are understood, where they are not judged for how they feel, something different happens. The emotion becomes easier to manage, not because it disappears, but because it is no longer being resisted. And in that space, what once felt overwhelming begins to feel meaningful instead. So what does it mean to cry easily? It doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you're overly emotional. It means your mind processes feelings openly. It means you experience life with depth. And maybe in a world that often avoids emotion, that's not something to hide, because crying is not just about sadness. It's about connection. And maybe the real strength isn't in holding everything in, but in allowing yourself to feel without turning away from it. And sometimes that depth doesn't come from nowhere. It comes from what you've been through. In fact, many people like this develop something called traumatic intelligence, a way of understanding the world that most people never will. If you want to truly understand yourself on a deeper level, watch this video next. It might explain more about you than you expect.